Hello, everybody, and welcome today. I'm so glad you're here with us today. And so, this is the book of Boba Fett that was aired yesterday. Was episode 4, and episode 4 was way better than episode 3. I really enjoyed episode 4, and I can't wait to see all the things that we're gonna get out of this because episode 4 kind of reminds me of the way that it should be done. Once again, my only major complaint, and that's going to be a complaint with a lot of these, is that maybe it was a little too short. But it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It starts with kind of a flashback again, those episodes in the backup tank. And so he's in the backup tank, and they're just getting him all healed up. But the flashback was kind of closer to what was going on. It kind of wanted to put the backstory on how him and Fennec Shen got connected, and so it was really good. They actually talked about it. You see the little glimpse of the flares popping up, and him going and getting her, and then it kind of brings in that biker gang and where they're getting their altercations and their modifications of their body parts, and it shows that and how she's a modified. So technically everybody but the Gangmorian guards are modified soldiers for him. And so then he says, they gotta go get his ship, and they break in and they get Slave One back, which they don't call Slave One because that's not politically correct. And so they call it Fire Spray, which is just the type of ship it is. And the reality is, I'll still know it as Slave One. So he gets in Slave One, he goes back looking for his armor, and he ends up, in a situation where he's about to be pulled back into this huge worm pit, and finally she drops a photon bomb, and boom, that beautiful sound, boom. And so there we are. We're back into the thick of it, and he's like, "Don't push my buttons." And so they become friends, and he goes back in a couple times looking for his armor, can't find it. But the reality is that's because the Jawas stole it from him. And so he goes and says, I need to keep care of a couple things, and he gets his revenge on the Swoop Gang, taking out those Nick Totes. I think Nick Totes Swoop Gang members could be something we see in Star Wars Legion. We're talking about things that'd be kind of cool, a little Swoop Gang that you can get. There's already speeder bikes, so it's not that hard to figure out how to put them in. And so in Star Wars Legion, that could be things that you would see, like a gang of thugs coming from there. And so, he gets in there, and then when he gets out this time, it says he's all healed. He's done healing. And so then he decides that he needs to get things started and get figuring things out because he's got a big war coming ahead of him. The Pikes are on the way, so he brings in the crime lords of the city and says, it's in our best interest that you guys work with me. And they all look at him like, not gonna happen. We don't really want to work with you. You haven't showed us enough power. And then he's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to work with me, just don't get in my way. Allow me to fight the Pikes without you getting in the way. And they're like, okay, we'll handle that, because they don't really want the Pikes to come either, because it's not good for them to be controlled by the Pikes. Spice trade does bring them money, but the Pikes would kind of take over everything and puts people in slavery and stuff. They're known for that, and so it's not really a good mix. I'm thinking that the Pikes are also not just Pikes. I think they're backed by Crimson Dawn, but we'll see how that goes. I think that's the big end game reveal we're going to see, that it's the Pikes or something, but the Crimson Dawn is behind this, and we're going to see some solo crossover stuff, and so that's kind of cool. But yeah, these groups didn't show me anything. I don't see if there's anything that we can fit into Star Wars Legion from this groups, because they really show us anything really good to them, that other than that they were pretty mild and lazy. But wait, I forgot to talk about one of the most important scenes. Finally, in Star Wars canon, we finally see it with Han Solo warned 3CPO about, C-3PO says, and says, change plans. Let's let the Wookiee win. And so here's the thing. We got to see it. Black Cassian, before he comes back to work with Boba Fett, that's just another cool thing that happens. He's in the bar and he sees some Transoceans sitting there, and he's like mad, and he's stewing over all the slavery that they've done to him and everything he's drinking away, and he's been drinking, and he's seeing them so happy, and it's playing that happy and his misery, and he comes up to them and picks them up, and then he gets talked down, so you think, and then all of a sudden he rips an arm off him, which doesn't mean a whole lot because the Transoceans do regrow things, so he's gonna regrow that limb. It's just gonna be an odd, like a little weird limb going around for a bit. But the reality is that's not in the short term. It's the only problem. That Trandoshan will be back with his arms not long from now. But he goes and works for Boba, and Boba's going to need all the muscle he can get if he's going to start waging a war. And that's what he kind of says, I need more muscle, and she goes, how much credits do you have? Well, with the right amount of credits, you can get the muscle you need. And then we hear it, the theme song for the Mandalorian. And that's kind of cool. The Pikes are getting there, they're getting the war, and here's the thing. All of a sudden, at the end, if you want troops, I know where I can get them for money. Wonder who might be coming. Maybe not Jin Garden himself, but maybe some of the other Mandalorians. Maybe go in and get the Bounty Hunters Guild and give them money. They're all short on cash. We know it's not going to be Cara Dune. We know that, but who knows who they're going to bring in. So now maybe long shot, not that it's even close because the music was the Mandalorian music, but maybe long shot, Bad Batch with his sister, and they can have that family reunion we've all been waiting for, and they can ride a Rancors together. There was one interesting note. If we go back to that little supper, they're starting to rile up, and he calms them down by getting the Rancor to sir, and it kind of reminded them who's in charge. He's not just a man anymore. He's a man with a Rancor, and a Rancor's nasty, reaching up the claws. Drops him some food. You're a good boy. And it's interesting. He puts the table right on top of the fall away grate so they can all fall in. And I love that. It's like, you're going to make me, we're going to drop you in there. And so, yeah, this is really, I think the big push is that we're going to, something to tie in the Mandalorian through this. And I think there is going to be some great things to come. I'm really excited about where the Book of Boba Fett's going. There is only 3 more episodes, and I'm going to say that's probably not enough to go where I want, and probably going to be a season 2. And so I'm kind of liking that. But as far as Star Wars Legion things, there was not a lot of introduction of new characters for Star Wars Legion. Swoop Gang might be able to fit in, but there is some cool things happening here, and maybe we'll see some of these cool things turn up in our game. So I just want to remind you, thank you for watching. If you watched this far, I want to remind you that we have a giveaway going on, and this giveaway is for a 3D printed rendering of this, which is a nice little hut. I know the bottom doesn't look that good, but it's just a nice little hut that is I painted up, but I'm giving you an unpainted version so you can make it fit your gaming table. And so if you just like, subscribe, and make a comment, you will be entered in for the draw, and the draw will be in March 17th, which we will have a wonderful draw, and whoever it is will get one sent to them. I will contact you and get your mailing address so I can send you one of these wonderful prints. And you can do that in any of the videos from this video, the last video, on to just before March, and I'll tell you when the cutoff is then. And so thank you, and I will see you again. Blessings.